Hey guys, on this very cold, very windy day, we are heading up the Doyles River at a place called Browns Gap in Albemarle County, Virginia. I'm telling you where I am today because this is not anywhere close to the Bigfoot lair I've discovered. It's not close to my home. I'm coming up here upon request by a good friend of mine who's been requesting that I come up here for some time. He's an avid hiker. He's hiked up this road. We're going to be on a state road. Now listen, if you come up to this place after seeing this video, understand this is a state road and you have the right to be on this state road. And this state road will take you all the way up to the Blue Ridge Parkway. But the property alongside the road is private. Don't trespass. If you see something in the woods, don't go chasing after it to see if it's a potential Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or an Indian spirit. Possibly a lot of both up here, among other things, and that's why we're here today. My buddy's been asking me to come up, check this place out for a while. I'm going to tell you why as we're heading up the road. I'm going to ask you to get my 6. We're only doing it now, and I told him, I saw him this morning, I said I'll do it now because I finally record, upload, and publish in high definition 1080. So now we're going squatching and looking for Native American Indian spirits in places of alleged activity in high definition. So get my 6. Okay guys, we're going to start out with just a bit of history here on Browns Gap before we make our way too far up the road, because you can see this retaining wall behind me. Who knows how long it's been here. I googled the area this morning, read quite a bit about it, but I didn't commit enough of it to memory yet because there's just so much to read. But it was originally taken over possession in 1749 by the Brown family who originally started purchasing land or acquiring land here in Fluvanna County. Came out this way. At one point it had 6,000 acres, mid-1740s. The gap actually crosses over the Blue Ridge and ends up in Grottos over in the Shenandoah Valley. And it was used just before these years and during these years by the Monacan Indian tribe who were coming over from the west to fight warring tribes over here on the eastern side of the Blue Ridge Mountains here in the Piedmont area. So I saw this stone wall and I thought this would just be a good time to tell you some of the history, because the history here goes back, the known history goes back, with European settlers at least 300 years, and the Indians were here long before that. And we're not far from a place called Rockfish Gap, which is right down the road heading towards Crozet. I found out in my reading this morning that the Rockfish Gap Turnpike Road that goes through there was originally a buffalo trail, because the buffalo herds were so big in this area in those times, they literally marked out the first roads. Potentially, Browns Gap Turnpike we're on now. Now, I don't know that for sure or not, but it's possible, because only a few miles away, the buffalo tread out Rockfish Gap. Now, let's go up here and see if we can see anything out of the ordinary. One of the things that will never cease to amaze me living in the part of the world where I live is how if you just get off the main roads and get off on some of these old state roads like this, the beautiful estates that you see, I mean, just amazing. And I know we're in high definition now, but I don't think the depth perception of my phone here, my new iPhone 11, is doing this beautiful property behind me justice and disservice. And I'm not trying to disrespect the property owner by sharing it with our followers here, but I'm trying to compliment him, I guess, and also let our followers see just how beautiful Virginia is, these Blue Ridge Mountains. But it's time to walk and talk. I've never been up here, so I don't know if at some point, my buddy told me there's no more houses, there's no more vast estates. And of course, all these houses up here seem to be on vast estates. But he said it's nothing but woods and you're atop of the Blue Ridge Parkway. And so anyway, I'm like, so what has happened out here so many times that you want me to come out here and check things out? And he says, well, it's more than that. It's what's happened out there so many times that I don't go back. He hasn't been here for 10 years. Oh, man, this beautiful scenery, this scenery is beautiful. I'm like, what? And he said that on 3 separate occasions, he's walking up this road. It's in the evening. There's a reason I'm up here in the morning on this cold, blistery morning. We got a nor'easter coming in. And hey, look over here on the other side of the Doyles River. This will actually take you up to the Doyles Falls. location on the Blue Ridge Parkway on the Skyline Drive. But he said on 3 distinct occasions, while walking up this road with no one around in the evening, he felt as if he were pushed from behind. He didn't hear footsteps, didn't see anything out of the ordinary, but he felt as if he were pushed from behind. I was like, yeah, right. 3 times? And I'm laughing, and he says, yeah, and the 3rd time it pushed me down, and that's the last time I went back, and that's been at least 10 years. So anyway, these maples that line this road here by this fence still have some leaves on them, and they're golden yellow and absolutely beautiful. Strange. So anyway, I've known this guy for a couple of years, and I trust the guy. I've never mentioned him by name, but I've mentioned him on the channel before. He's an avid hiker, veteran, was in the Navy, hard worker. He has a job. He's had the same job for 15 years, goes every day. That's how I met him. I work with him off and on when I temp sometimes, because I either want some extra money or need some extra money or want to get off the homestead because I'm spending too much time alone in the woods with potentially what may or may not live back there in those woods behind my house. So anyway, I don't discount what he's telling me, so that's why I'm here today. This is gorgeous. All right, I'm gonna stop recording for now, walk a little further up, see if things get creepy. Run! Give my six! Give my six! Oh! Okay guys, here's another story that my buddy told me about this place that I didn't tell you before because I didn't think the two were related. For a brief second here about 4 minutes ago, I thought the two were related, but now I'm going to tell you they're not. And I just saw a snowflake or something else. Get my six, guys. We're not out of this holler yet. Something white just drifted in front of my eyes. I'm assuming it was a snowflake, but I'm not so sure. I'm gonna walk slowly, even though my gut instinct is telling me to run, so I can hold the phone more steady. Keep watching back there and watch for things. So my buddy used to get frustrated when he'd hike up here. Okay, I just got up there to where there was another bridge, another crossing. This is a state road. Okay, my buddy said he used to come up here and there was some guy that owns a property up here. He didn't say who, he just said some guy. And when he'd see him, he'd come out and yell at him, tell him it's private property. And my friend knew his rights, you know, and he said, no, as long as I stay on this road, I can stay on this road, and I use this road to get to the Blue Ridge Parkway. So anyway, that beautiful estate I was showing you, and I'm not saying that this is the guy that my buddy's talking about. I don't know who this guy's talking about. So I get up there and I see a sign that is called, that estate is called, shoot, I can't remember the name, but it said established 1750, and I was like, wow, this must be the original estate, huh? You know, I'm thinking, well, I got to get some footage of this. So I turn around to pull my phone back out of my pocket, and something pushes me from behind. And so I turn around with my fist up because I'm thinking somebody's out here trying to tell me I can't walk on a state road. I don't care, you know, I got no problem with you telling me I can't be on a state road, but do not touch me. Don't physically touch me, okay? Well, I turn around, no one is there. No one. Well, I take off running. I tried to record for a little bit. I don't know if I caught any of it on film because I was trying to see if there was anything behind me. Was it something that could be picked up on film? So I won't know until I go back and look at this. But fortunately, we're squatching today for potential Native American Indian spirits in 1080 high definition. So if we did capture something, it'll be in high def, I guess. I think I'm in the clear. I don't feel anything messing with me. I need some water. Give me a second. Well, there goes my plans for the day. I'd had some great 3 or 4 hour long adventure planned, and it's going to go all the way up to the Blue Ridge Parkway on old State Route 629, Browns Gap Turnpike. But I guess not. So I've got to report back to my buddy. Hold on now. Things may have just gotten squatchy. I can get my editing equipment out here. Keep getting my 6. Ordinarily I'd stop recording, but where'd it go? Did we miss it? Or did it just back off? Wow, I almost spoke too soon. Said I was going to have to go home empty-handed, but maybe not. But you know, my buddy and me, we often go back and forth about who's smarter, because, you know, we'll bring up our old military days. And of course, I was an infantryman in the Army. We're not known for our intelligence, and I was one of them airborne ones that, you know, was dumb enough to jump out of perfectly good airplanes. Kurt was like, say his name, sorry, hey, well, whatever, he won't mind. I was in the Navy. We built those planes to fly, not to be jumped out of, and we flew them. So we're always saying he's smarter than me, and I'm like, no, not really. But here's the deal. I think, if nothing else, I'm going to be able to tell my buddy that I'm smarter than him, because it took him 3 times of happening what happened to him. Watch right there. Before he stopped coming back. But it only took me once. Thanks for being with me here for another episode of the PBS the Potential Bigfoot Sasquatch Show.